All right, everybody, let us know what city and state you're in. We've got Nelson Quest with Agent Fire. We're going to be talking about the secrets to an ultra performing website. I've been seeing more and more of your websites, Nelson, from different teams, agents, brokerages. Obviously, we're eyeing you like secretly on the back end. As we're building out everything with Brett and Randy at Rooster for the IDX, we're like, you know what? We need to hit up Agent Fire to build out our brokerage site, right?
Yep,
Because I know you guys are doing an amazing job. So with that, Nelson, where do we start with making our websites the most amazing possible websites? I know we talked about it last session, but I
sure.
feel like you're going to go a different direction this time.
Yeah, I've tried to refine. So obviously, the last webinar we had was really popular, and even the replay has been like really popular. We're actually in the process of turning it into a case study, but this webinar, we're trying to keep it 30 minutes. Last time I think went an hour 15, and this time, we're trying to just dial in a lot more on sort of the core message, just to so that you guys can spend less time in the webinar and hopefully walk away with just as much, if not more. So. Yeah, so let me actually share my screen, because I do have some slides. I do like to be
Jump in,
prepared.
man. I always like your slides and your examples.
Thanks. Yeah, can you actually see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Got it.
Okay, cool. So that is just a title slide. Let me actually just introduce myself real quick, so you guys don't think I'm a bum. I am the CEO and founder of Agent Fire. We founded in 2013. As Tristan mentioned, we become really popular over the last few years. When I first started the company, it was I was in a spare room in my parent, typical entrepreneur story. Didn't hire someone for the first 5 years. So really, it's been over the last handful of years that things have started to really pick up and accelerate. And I think a big part of that this year in particular, we have essentially, we really took a hard look at real estate websites as a whole. We took a look at consumer psychology. We took a look at a lot of data and traffic that goes through our sites. We had lots of conversations with so our clients, which range from new agents to some of the biggest agents and teams in North America. And so we really wanted to sort of delete all of our previous preconceptions of what a real estate website should be, and just look at data, look at this next era of real estate, and try to figure out what is the purpose of a website. I think what you guys are going to see as we move through this webinar is that your idea of a real estate website is probably very different of what a real estate website actually should be. So I'll just mention quickly, I'm a big fan of just branding in general. So that, if I had to list one sort of thing that I'm very passionate about, it would definitely be just like branding and framing. And that's a lot of the stuff that goes into our websites is, regardless if it's a new agent or someone that's been doing this for a very long time, your website is your opportunity to really like create the frame. It's your ability to control how people perceive you, and especially in this modern age where people are going to be vetting you out like more than ever. We'll talk about that in a second. It's so important to control the frame, and a website allows you to do that. I'm also mentioning quickly, I love YouTube as a side project. A bunch of years ago, I started a YouTube channel. I've got multiple videos with millions of views. The channel itself got over 100,000 followers in the first month. So I understand, I'm not just theorizing about stuff. Like I really understand what it is to create a brand and create an image. A lot of that is actually um, being good. So a lot of that is actually being a good agent, working to be a good agent, working to understand the market, working to understand how to better serve your buyers and sellers. And then the next part of that is, actually articulating that in your front-facing stuff. So that's your social media channels, that's your website, and yeah, we're gonna show you some cool stuff about that shortly.
I like that, man.
Yeah. So the big question. So obviously, with this whole NAR settlement, we are like clearly something has happened this year in particular. I've been doing this now again for over 10 years. This year has been a very weird year, and I would say mostly because of the settlement. Also, it's just a weird sort of election year. The market's been really weird. But for me and for a lot of experts in the industry, the real key opportunity here is to demonstrate your value, to showcase your expertise, to essentially what's happening with the NR settlement, what's happening with just the proliferation of just online things, review systems, the ability to vet out stuff in a way that we were never able to do before. You know, if you guys are going to buy like a tube of toothpaste on Amazon, before you would just go into a CVS. Now it's like, you know, you go to Amazon. First of all, you're looking for the organic stuff. You're going to look at 5 different toothpastes. You're going to look at reviews. You're probably going to sort those reviews by the lowest first because you want to see what the nasty things people are saying about these. So this represents just like a monumental shift in a very short period of time, and it's important to just understand that and internalize that, because when you understand that, you understand the importance of, again, just creating the frame. Not allowing people to not having like a crappy website. I'll show you guys an example of not having like just crappy things online that poorly demonstrate you and your ability to serve your clients, which again is, you know, in terms of what your real estate website should be doing in this modern age, that is the primary thing. And so we'll go through that in a second. Getting a little too excited. So here's just some quick stuff that some of the other, you know, some of the experts in the industry are saying. If you look at Tom Ferry, Brian Burrow, Brian Buffini, Gary Keller, Mark Davidson is one of the guys that I most respect in the industry too. Like all of these guys are talking about the big opportunity for branding, and the big opportunity for leveraging your online presence to communicate, articulate your value, your skills, your experience. You know, what is it that makes you unique in this real estate agents? A lot of people are very convinced that with this NAR settlement, you're going to have a big like culling of agents, essentially. So a lot of the agents that are just doing this part-time, that aren't, that don't have or aren't able to properly sell their skills or what they bring to the transaction, are essentially going to be left behind. And we'll see, again, they've been saying that for many years, that the total number of agents is gonna decrease, tighten up. It's never happened, but I do think now that is a lot more likely, especially if you have buyers paying commissions on something that was previously paid for by someone else, right? So again, here's the big takeaway: you must clearly showcase your value and unique skills to win business. So here at Agent Fire, I mentioned, you know, we're having a really big year. We created what's called Blueprint. So essentially, this is just everything that I just talked about a second ago, where, you know, we worked directly with a lot of our clients. Again, we worked with some new clients. We worked with guys who have been doing this for a very long time, so the biggest agents and teams in the US. And so it wasn't just like, let's create the website and off you go. It was more like, how do we turn this into a tool that you can leverage into every conversation, every interaction? If you're on a buyer's presentation, seller's presentation, if you're just having a text message conversation with someone, like, how can you turn your website into an actual tool that you can leverage everywhere to win and attract new business? And this is how we created Blueprint, which is essentially, and I'll send you guys, for everyone that's in this webinar, we'll send the replay after this, and I'll also send a link to Blueprint so you guys can check it out. But it's essentially like everything a modern website should have to succeed, and how to leverage that stuff to actually win and attract new business, right? So that's what we're going to be going through today. Blueprint is a 21-point checklist. Obviously, that would take last time at the last webinar we did, I think we tried to get through like 12 of the points, and it took an hour and 15 minutes. So today we're going to focus on more like the overarching themes. And then if you guys want to go more in depth, more granular, you can check out Blueprint for yourself. And yeah, it's not your typical, like it's heavy duty, right? So, and forgive the quality on this slide. I pulled this like just a couple of minutes before this webinar started, but this is an example, and this is just a mock-up we did. This is not an actual agent website, but this is an example of like a typical real estate website, right?
That's
it's
true.
IDX. Yeah. It's so I mean, zero branding or crap branding, way too much information. I mean, look at like way too many menu items, a lot of stuff that people don't care about. IDX is the main focus when it absolutely shouldn't be. You should be the main focus. People are using your websites to like vet you out. That's the primary thing that people are using real estate websites for these days. It's not for IDX search. They're using Zillow for that. And so anyway, crappy website. So the first like principle of Blueprint is just to keep your website scannable. So I can't tell you how many times I look at, an agent comes to us, they want to redo their website, go to the website, and it's just first of all, and again, there's a bunch of crap that nobody cares about. But then also there's just like big blocks of text everywhere. I mean, we are in the age of TikTok. Your website, and just to, let's start getting some examples going. This is a website that we're actually developing right now, and I'm really excited to be able to show this to you guys today, because we also have his original website, where is it? I think I actually have to. So I'm going to be able to do like a side-by-side comparison. And this is also a website that we've built for Charles Fisher. He's a RE/MAX agent out in Los Angeles. His website's done well for himself. Let me just move this. Let me move Tristan's face over here to another screen. So anyway, I'm going to be able to show you guys, like, this is a website we built for him a bunch of years ago. And I'm going to show you guys just a lot of kind of what's changed. And yeah, this new website that we're in the process of building for him, I actually just got my hands on about 30 minutes ago. And so, but I've gone through, yeah. So, but this is like a great example, because last week we went through a different website. We went through Oasis Group, which I have on the screen right now. And I'll go through a little bit today for anyone that was in that webinar last week. I think most of you guys, frankly, weren't in that webinar last week. But for those of you guys that were on that webinar, I wanted to keep things, so I wanted to freshen things up a little bit. But these are both websites that I worked directly with our designer on. I worked directly with the agents on to try to figure out, okay, like, what is your unique value? What are the things that we really want to be communicating? What are the pages that are most important that you can actually leverage? Because you're having, these guys are having lots of conversations is the big thing, right? And so how can you leverage your website in these conversations to just solidify the fact that the people you're talking to should, like, 100% you're the agent they should be working with, right? So when we go back to, Scannable, what we're talking about is, if you scroll through this website, I'll send you guys a link to this after the webinar as well. And I'll send you a link to Oasis Group. These are the two websites that I would highly recommend checking out from our portfolio that really represent this blueprint formula that we're really big on. But if you scroll through these websites, you'll see, I mean, they're scannable. There's no big blocks of text. There's like clearly labeled sections. You want to have just big headers, and then the text below it should be really like small. It should just be enough to sort of support what you're communicating in the section without like drowning people out. People should be able to scroll through this page and quickly, like, read through the headers of each individual section and to find, ultimately the thing that they might be looking for. Again, most people that are coming to your websites, and maybe now's actually a good time to talk about this. I would like to just show a quick slide to support this, even though this is jumping ahead a little bit. Actually, no, I'll just talk. So I'm a big fan of data, right? And we, I may have certain feelings about certain things, but ultimately, when it comes to making design decisions or decisions that fundamentally affect the way that we build websites here at Agent Fire, 100% is going to be data driven. And so what we've noticed over the last bunch of years is that the most visited pages on our websites are the why. Like, so it's basically the about page, right? Or like, why choose me? Why work with me? And then also the buyer and seller services pages. These are also coincidentally the pages that you guys should most be leveraging in your interactions with people. If you're talking to a buyer for the first time, or you're talking to a seller for the first time, like, how nice is it to be able to, let's even just give an example. You're talking to a buyer for the first time. How nice is it to just be able to link to the buyer services page on your website, where they can scroll through and they can learn more about you. They can see your experience and social proof, right? And by the way, we work with agents that have, there's always ways to take, even if you have limited experience, right? And you have like limited things to show up, we can still find ways to move that stuff around and make it look good. In the case of, so this is Charles. He's a top producing agent. He's been doing this for a long time, even though he looks really young. And so, and we basically looked at, give us all of your stats since you've been doing this, and then let's figure out, like, how do we consolidate this to the most, like, to present it in the most impressive way, if that makes sense, and just have a short section on each of your, so this section you're seeing here, which is like a social proof experience type section, you're going to see this on his buyer's page, on his seller's page, on his home page. And it just quickly, you see this as a consumer who's vetting out which agent to work with. This is a pretty freaking good reason to work with Charles. Scroll down. this is also really important too. It's just listing out all of the unique things you can expect. A lot of consumers, they don't really understand like what they're paying an agent for. And that's one thing, right? So you want to list out what it is that you're actually doing for the people you're working with. But the second thing is, what is it that you're doing that's different from other agents that you're competing with, right? Because a lot of you guys are going above and beyond on the buy side and the sell side. Even if on the buy side, it's just your experience. You know, you just have like 10 years more experience than the average real estate agent. That's something, you know, if I'm a consumer, I'm looking to work with an agent. Experience is gonna play big into, you know, one of the things that I'm going to perceive as a big benefit. When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to social proof, now I think let me actually. There's a couple things I want to say about social proof. So the first thing is, and we actually have a slide for this. Let me just jump ahead a little bit.
How long, Nelson, how long does it take you to build out a site like this for agents or a team?
It takes a little while. So right now, we have gotten so I mean we have like a little bit of a delay before we can start working on a site. That's just you know we're just popular in terms of average time it takes to build out a site. So we have three different packages. We have Ignite, which are like theme websites. We have semi-custom, which is a custom homepage, and then themed interior pages. Then we have full custom, you know, which is kind of the full enchilada.
Mhm.
Ignite takes about 2 weeks. Semi-custom takes about 4 weeks. Custom takes about 6 weeks. And obviously these times can change depending on how collaborative our clients are with us.
Mhm.
As you know, if you guys have ever built a website before, you know there's a lot that goes into it. We've redone our onboarding process this year, especially with AI. You know, we try to extract as much as we can from the clients that we're working with without like asking them to do hours and hours of homework. But yeah, those are the 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 6 weeks. And 2 weeks may sound like a lot, but you know, we don't do template websites. We're against that.
Dude, it does
Um,
not sound a lot, like a lot. You're telling me 6 weeks we're done with a custom site?
Could be longer. 6 weeks is like if we have perfect. So that's from the moment that we get we receive the forms, the onboarding forms, and
So
that's if we have like
like
perfect.
eight-ish weeks, fully custom.
Oh, you can definitely get a custom website in 6 weeks. And
Okay.
we have a great review process too. So now we're using something called markup. I won't get too deep into it, but essentially, you know, when we're working with clients, if they want to leave us feedback, like they're not having to take screenshots and you know, they can literally just we use something called markup.io. And so
I
they can
know
go to
markup.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you just literally click where you want to leave some feedback, you just type in your feedback, hit submit, and it just leaves like a little comment on the like on the website itself, which is super cool. So yeah, but no, we have custom websites that take a lot longer than 6 weeks, but you know those usually involve lots of like custom interior pages, or you know that there's other stuff there that makes them take longer. If that makes sense. That's
Yeah. Thanks.
yeah. So so talking about testimonials, right? This is actually a really good example of something that just needs to change in the mind of modern agents when it comes to their websites. Most agents now have like a testimonials page on the website, and it's just like frankly, it's just not enough. You know, when you think of yourself, like go into a website. Most websites are going to have like testimonials somewhere. They're going to have social proof somewhere. You need to do this stuff in a way where it's a lot more personal and it's a lot easier to consume. Like if you're just scrolling through a website and you just see a list of testimony, it's kind of like every agent is going to have that. Like it's called like banner blindness, where you're essentially it's not unique enough to really jump out at you or to make any sort of difference in the analysis process that's happening when you're going through a website and vetting out an agent. Hopefully that makes sense. And so, you know, a great example of this, there's two things I want to show here. One is just having a nice testimonial section like this, right? So this is, you know, what is this? This is like these are big smiling faces at closing day. You know, this is now the standard that we do on every, as long as you guys have photos like that. We try to set up a section like this that we'll use on your buyer's page, seller's page, homepage, why work with us page. And this is key. You know, this is again, this is not just like a boring list of testimonials from Zillow. This is like we've beautiful smiling photos. Try to find the meat of one testimonial or a few different testimonials and focus on that. If we check out the testimonial section on Oasis Group, you can see it's kind of the same sort of idea where this is a single section on the website, big smiling faces at closings, and then we're pulling out the meat of some of the best testimonials and featuring that. This is a very big difference than just vomiting out a list of faceless Zillow reviews. Hopefully that makes sense. And so this is the first thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to testimonials. Second thing, and this is something that Tom Ferry talks about a lot recently, is the importance of case studies. So, and this is another great tool that you can leverage when you're having conversations with people. So an example of this is actually a new landing page that we rolled out here at Agent Fire. It's our Tom Ferry inspired Nosy Neighbor campaign. And the idea is every agent we talk to, when it comes to homes that they've sold, pretty much every home that they've sold, like every agent that I talk to, every home has unique challenges, like every single one. I don't know that I've ever talked to an agent and they're like, oh yeah, it's all, copy and paste sort of no, it's like every single home has unique sort of obstacles that they have to leverage their experience and skills to overcome. And consumers don't understand that, right? And especially they don't understand that. So what's cool with a page like this is you can actually essentially go through the entire process of how you got this home listed, how you got this home sold. You're highlighting some of the unique obstacles you faced, how you overcame them. You're highlighting just some of the stats and some of the, again, unique stuff that you brought to this listing to help it get sold. Now you can feature some photos here. You can feature your virtual tour that you may have done. Another example of this here's another example of like a case study type page. And again, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to tell the story of like, how did we, and maybe you don't have to do this for all of your listings, but maybe just, 1 to 3. Try to tell just the story of everything. Like what was the situation that your sellers were in? Were they looking to downsize? Were they in a money crunch? And whatever it is, like whatever kind of unique factors play into the story that other people are going to be able to resonate with. Obviously feature some of the nice professional photos that you took and again, some of that stuff that you did. And again, just highlight obstacles that you faced and how you overcame them. And these are great to use if you're having a conversation with a seller, to have 1 or 3 of these queued up, or you can share it with them. Because again, consumers, when they're thinking of selling their home, and especially right now in this digital age where there's a lot of technologies that are trying to undercut agents and especially like bump them out of the equation. Like consumers don't know, they don't realize how freaking difficult it is to buy a home or sell a home, and how important it is to have the right representation. And so a case study page is it's a great opportunity for you guys to be able to showcase that.
Question, Nelson, we've got a 10% off any design package. And somebody asked, well, Jan, what's up, Jan? She's asking, what happened to the 20% off you have?
Sorry, guys. So we have, when we do these webinars, we have a 20%. We actually have a Black Friday that's going to be starting. If I could have moved this webinar a couple of days, I probably would. But yeah, we have a 20% off pre-launch special. You guys can visit agentfire.com, I think / pre-launch, or anyone that's watching this webinar, if you guys are interested in that, you can shoot me an email, nelson@agentfire.com. And yeah, when we prepare these webinars, there's a lot of stuff that goes into preparing them. And so I just missed, updating that with Tristan's team. So sorry for that. We're not trying to hoodwink anyone. So yeah, but you just email me directly, nelson@agentfire.com, and I'll hook you up. So we skipped ahead 1 slide, so let's come back. So okay, we've gone through, keep your website scannable, be personal, be conversational. So this is another big thing. If you look at, again, the vast majority of real estate websites, again, understand this from a consumer's perspective. They're not going to your website to use your IDX. Like they're going to Zillow. They're going to your website to vet you out. They want to learn about you. They want to know why they should choose you versus other people. Even a lot of agents that we talk to that have these massive referral bases, what we're finding is, it used to be 5 years ago, definitely 10 years ago, you could just refer an agent and consumer would just work with that agent. Now, these days, you refer an agent, and they're still gonna they're gonna vet you out. Like they're gonna vet you out. And your website for most agents, that's the first thing that's gonna pop up when they Google you or they Google your team name. And so, you need it needs to leave a definitive impression that you are like the agent or team that they should be choosing. Be personal, be conversational. This is also so much easier to achieve now in the age of AI. So, when I say that, if you're going through any of our recent websites, let's go back to the homepage here. What Charles did actually, and what we do when we build websites now, is we ask for clients to communicate what is your if you understand what a brand voice is, what is that? If you don't understand what that is, we'll ask you, what are the key sort of values that you want to resonate in the copy that's written throughout your website? What are some one-liners that maybe you use in your marketing or elsewhere? Charles, the agent that I'm showing on the screen here, has a bunch of different one-liners that we wanted, that he wanted, represented, reflected in the copy that we create for him. And especially in this age of AI, like you can go in, and if you're writing copy for let's say you want to create a really nice buyer page, right? You can go into ChatGPT and you can literally just describe yourself, like take a couple of minutes to just describe yourself, describe the sort of person that's coming to this page, right? This is the person that's considering doing business with you. You can explain that to ChatGPT. You can explain some of the emotions this person might be feeling. They're hesitant to this is a big financial decision for them. They want to make the right decision. You can explain all this stuff to ChatGPT. Then you can explain what is it that you want to communicate to people that visit this page. And you can go through that process and then create copy using AI. So, which you can do in like a couple of minutes. Like in the past, if you wanted to write, in the past, I can tell you guys as someone that owns a real estate website company, asking clients that are going through the onboarding process to provide copy was by far, it just never worked. And if it would take a very long time. And even then, it was the most difficult part in building a site. You guys are seeing all the cool fancy effects, and you hover over things and little hearts pop up. Like the most difficult part in building a site is just getting the copy for it. And so use ChatGPT. Just tell it, who you are, what it is you're looking to communicate. You can literally just sort of just like brainstorm things into ChatGPT, tell it all the unique things that you want to communicate on the buy side and the sell side. And allow it to create copy for you. That's what we do now for our clients. If you go through our onboarding process, we're trying to get information about who you are, what are your values, what is your brand voice, what are the things that you want to communicate, and then we're asking you, like, just list out what are the unique services that you provide on the buy side and the sell side. What's your experience? What are the things that consumers can expect to get with you that they're not going to get from other people? And then we're just plugging all that stuff into ChatGPT to help us not only create the copy, but also to understand how the different sections should be organized. When you plug into ChatGPT, when you just so this agent, for example, who's been doing this for a long time, he's got a lot of different impressive stats. He's got personal stats. He's got stats from his brokerage, which is Remax. Just plug that all into ChatGPT and then ask it, like, how do I frame this in the 3 or 4 bullet points that are going to be the most impressive, and just let it sort of give you ideas. So hopefully that's all making sense.
Yeah, all makes sense. Yeah.
Usually when I do these things, it's weird because I don't see like how many. I think there's like almost 100 people here. Anyway, I'm just hoping you guys are understanding. So I mentioned we talked about this a little bit already, but focus on the big 3 pages. So again, those pages are the buyer services page, the seller services page, the why work with me, why choose me, why work with our team. Those pages are just critically important because not only are the pages that people are going to seek out when they come to your site, but these are all also the pages that you can use in every conversation, every interaction. We have this agent, Jeff Bray, who again, he was the main focus of our webinar last week, but not last week, last month. But
it was an amazing webinar.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's his entire strategy. Like I wish I could sit here and tell you guys that he's using our AI blogging tools, and he's, I wish I could tell you he's going in and he's actually using his entire strategy is he buys leads on Zillow and sends them to his website. Like he reaches out to them as quickly as possible, has a conversation, figures out which page on this website to send them to. That's his entire strategy, and he's going to make $1 million this year in commissions. So again, this is what I'm trying to really drill into you guys is thinking of the website not as like a IDX tool, which by the way, there are uses for IDX. I do have a slide about that. I know I've been bashing on IDX a lot, but there is still a use for it. I'll talk about that in a second. But just really try to think of the website as like as a tool that you can use in every conversation, every interaction to win and attract new business. Sorry, I know I've said that like 10 different times, but Jesus, if you guys can understand that, you will succeed with your website. So so the big 3 pages, I think we've gone over this enough. So essentially, again, just buyer services, seller services, why work with us. Just to go through this why work with us page that we built for Charles. Again, you want to showcase all throughout the website. You should have big smiling photos of yourself with clients. I've mentioned this in the last webinar, but there's a lot of websites I go to where it's like the agent or team is like trying to be a professional model or something, and they're like they've got very serious faces. Like, no, you want to be warm, approachable. As Tom Ferry says, you want people to know, like, and trust you. And part of getting people to like you is transmitting like a likable essence. You look at Tristan. Tristan's always smiling everywhere. Like everyone loves Tristan. He's got his
almost everyone.
Almost, yeah. Maybe not people that are not people that are competing against Tristan, but everyone that's working with Tristan loves Tristan. Yeah. So I'm working with Tristan now because of that big smiling face.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for real. People love Tristan. Like that's why I'm working with Tristan.
Anyways, a question, Nelson, about sites, because sure. At this point, real estate agents are extremely visual, right?
Yep.
What sites are you working on right now that you're like super proud of, that are on the cutting edge of what you're doing? Anything come to mind that you can showcase that you're like, damn, this is beautiful. I love this one. This is where we're heading as a whole.
Honestly, we've got a bunch. I've been time limited to just the last couple of weeks, just because I became a dad like really recently. I have twins.
Yeah, I saw that.
But so we have a whole in our Slack. We have a whole. I don't know if you guys. Anyway, I can definitely the two websites that I'm involved with right now are Oasis and this Fisher real estate website upgrade that we're working on. But I can in the follow-up email, I'll throw in a couple of other websites that our guys are working on, because everyone now is working. All of our designers are now working through this, and they're all also at a point where, because Blueprint is like somewhat, now that it's codified, everyone's trying to impress me, or they're trying to impress. And so we have some really cool examples. I'll share in the email follow-up that I send after this webinar.
2 questions then. Simon, what's up, Simon? Is there a setup fee, Nelson, or how does that work?
Yeah. So what I'll go through that. I'll go through that at the end real quick, if that's okay.
Perfect. Then this one you may answer right now, though.
Yeah.
John says, can you discuss what information on the maps you think or you find are most important to have there, like HOA fees or anything like that?
On the maps. So essentially, I mean, first of all, that's going to be highly dependent on your demographic. So if you look at, and we have some really cool examples of, I think you're talking about click maps, right? So these like custom clickable maps.
I think that's what it meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a unique. I think other services are offering this as well now too. But this is an add-on feature that we offer here at Agent Fire. These are essentially customized maps of your hyperlocal area. Our clients love these because, again, anything you can do on your website that's going to provide unique value in a way that consumers are not going to get through a big portal site like Zillow is a major plus. And it also simultaneously demonstrates you as a hyperlocal authority. So for me, I'm a big fan of just showing definitely like highway markers. And if you live in an area that's more urban, you can show like commute times. You can show. So we have a map somewhere. I forget who. I think actually maybe Charles's website has this, where there's some like big factories, like big like work. What would it be called? Like, so there's like a big Tesla factory, for example. So they've got that on the, they have a lot of people relocating. So here's you can see like SpaceX headquarters. We have another map somewhere where there's a ton of just a ton of jobs being created, a ton of people relocating to the area for jobs, like hundreds of thousands of jobs, and they have and so on their map they have some of the major like corporate places where lots of people are relocating to help better to orient, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think the big things are definitely highway markers. And again, it really depends on your hyperlocal market and what's going to provide the most value to people that are visiting your website in particular.
Yeah, makes sense. I like
Yeah.
that.
So,
Good
so
answer.
big three pages. Testimonials aren't enough. IDX. So I know I've been bashing IDX a lot. And I wanted to just mention quickly there are ways to still like leverage IDX on your website to get a result. So first and foremost, if you guys are doing PPC, like that's entirely separate. You know that's still very viable if you're doing PPC and pointing that to specific IDX pages on your website, like totally
Mhm.
viable. But in terms of like what's unique value that you can provide, you can do lifestyle searches. So I saw Real Scout recently released a feature where they can do where you can do lifestyle searches. But essentially, what you want to do is you want to go into your IDX and you want to try to curate listings. So you're not just plopping down a general IDX search, which again is the same thing that people are going to get on Zillow. Instead, go in and figure out like, okay, what are the lifestyles that are most important to the demographic that I'm trying to target? You know, there's area pages as well, which I'll show you guys in a second. I know we're going a little over time here, so I'll try
Don't
to.
worry, man. We've got another
Yeah.
15 minutes. Take your
Okay.
time.
Cool. But yeah, you want to think with IDX, when it comes to IDX, you want to think like in terms of how you're presenting listings on your website, you just want to think like, how can I curate these in a way that will provide value to the people that I'm working with? And also you want to create curated pages. Again, if you have, um, a page on your website with just beach properties or boating properties, or, this is great. Like when you have a conversation with someone and they mention, yeah, I really want to be on the ocean, or, yeah, I really want to be in the, closer to things, like in the heart of it. You can link them to like the shopping page or the nightlife page on of listings on your website. These are great ways to again create more curated experience. We also have on our sites, and I just saw this recently. Got this like perfect listing notification. See, actually, I won't go through these steps right now because it would take me a little bit of time. But any sort of like traditional lead capture that you guys have on your website. So if it's
Mhm.
home valuations, if it's perfect home finder thing that most people have, they try to find ways to personalize it and really again just anything you do that's generic is always going to work against you because people feel like it's not worth them investing the time to go through it. When you personalize it a little bit, and you articulate that, hey, like, instead of just asking people to sign up for listing notifications, for example, call it
Yeah.
like a VIP home finder where you're going to curate, you're going to hand pick homes and send them to their inbox daily. You want to word things like that to get engagement. If you don't, people just don't engage with this stuff. Um, so go hyper local. So this is, and let me see. I think on Fisher we just,
Well, we did the one we did what 3 weeks ago about
yep.
that was, dude, the hyper locality on that site was really good.
Yeah, I think it's super important because again, this is more of that stuff where you're not going to find this stuff on Zillow or the big portal, so you're sure as heck not going to find this stuff on agent sites that you're competing against. And not only does it provide a huge amount of value, but it also simultaneously demonstrates you as an authority. Like whenever you provide value to someone in any way, you are also simultaneously demonstrating yourself as an expert in that thing, or as someone that, as like a value bringer, um, which is a massive social proof. So here's the, our area page on this new website that we're building for Charles. You can see he's got the click map here at the bottom. We've actually got a Find My Neighborhood like a quiz. I don't want to take you guys through it now, but this is actually another feature we have here at Agent Fire, where essentially it's a quiz that consumers can go through and they can pick out kind of the things that they're most interested in. So maybe if they're looking for more of like a family type home, or if they want to be more in the city, or whatever it is, then it'll actually list out the neighborhoods that are best for them based on their lifestyle and where they're at. But if we go into any of these area pages, so let's go into South Bank. You can see what we're doing here, and this looks like a custom area page. And I'm actually seeing this for the first time with you guys, but you can see we've got a custom menu here, so you can search by community. Again, we've got lifestyle searches, which is really nice. Again, you always want to be, if you're presenting IDX stuff, you want to do it in a way where it's you're giving a curated experience and not just some generalized crap. We've got a short description of the area. Again, all this stuff is also worded in how, like, this is how it would come out of Charles's mouth, because we've all of the copy has been like processed through his brand voice, right? We've got a call to action for the the neighborhood quiz. Got other cities in the area. So let's go into. So our area guide system is two levels. So there's like top level, which could be like a county, for example, and then second level, which would be cities in that county or smaller areas in that county. So here's a more robust example of an area page. You can see, we've got the newest listings filtering into the page. You can actually filter by open houses, which is a nice feature to have on an area page. Another call to action to, this is actually a VIP home finder notification call to action. So again, it's not like, normally you go to a real estate website and you just see like perfect home finder, click here, right? And forget, nobody's going to click that. Instead, we worded this: our clients get exclusive early access to off-market properties, giving them a head start in finding their perfect home. With our connections and insider knowledge, we open doors to homes not yet available to the public. This is, have you seen every house on the market? This is how you just take a couple of minutes and take something that could traditionally be very generic, make it personal, make it conversational, and have a much better result with it. We've also got market reports on our area guides, which I know let me get through the page. They're pretty cool. We're pulling in data not only from the IDX, but also we're pulling in data from a company called Home Junction. So we're pulling in some demographic and census data there. We've got an integration with Yelp. You can actually customize this yourself. So we have a lot of our clients that will actually go into these area pages, and instead of just feeding, by default, it'll just feed the top results in these different categories. So like dine, drink, shop, perk. You can actually go in and curate this stuff. So if you wanted to put your favorite restaurants in this particular area, then you're having a conversation with someone and it's like, oh yeah, man, you got to check out. I actually listed out all my favorite restaurants in Manhattan Beach. Here's a link to check that out. Again, always thinking about how you can be leveraging the website as a tool in your everyday interactions. We got schools with school ratings. You can click to look at more granular information, and then just lots of highly personalized call to actions. Yeah. Mobile first. That's the last thing I'll mention. I almost hate talking about this because it sounds so generic, but then I'll go to your guys' websites and a lot of them just have a really crappy mobile experience. This actually ties in, somewhat full circle to the first point I mentioned, which is keep your website scannable. When you have a scannable website that doesn't have like big blocks of text and is nicely organized, it's going to make it a lot more conducive to making it mobile optimized, right? And then really when it comes to designing your website, again, whether you're working with Agent Fire or anyone else, you should look for companies that do what's called mobile first, which is essentially they're building the experience on a mobile device first and then expanding it out onto tablets and desktops and whatever. But it's so important. When we look at our visitor data, over 60% of our traffic is coming in on mobile devices. That increases every single year. That will continue to increase every single year. There may be a point in time where computers just cease to exist. Who knows? So mobile first is as much as that's like the most generic thing that I want to share with you guys today. It's also just really important. So anyway, I think we're at the end of the webinar. So I mentioned I think I said I would just go through our design packages quick. So if you guys are in the market for a real estate website provider, I'd love if you guys would consider Agent Fire. We're having a great year. Got great sites. You can check out actually some of our favorite sites here in our portfolio if you visit, go to our work and then view portfolio. But in terms of our pricing and packages, we actually now have a package builder. So you guys know, if you guys have gotten quotes on real estate, well, most companies don't share how much they charge for websites. We try to be as transparent as possible. And so if you visit the pricing page on our site, you click build your package and get pricing, you can actually go through and you can see these are the three packages that we offer. We've got starting at we've got custom, which is $3,500 setup, semi-custom, $1,500, Ignite, $500 setup. These are one-time fees. Even with our Ignite site, it's not a template website that you would get with them. These are themed websites. I can show one on the screen real quick.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, these are themed. Like these are really nice. We update these every year. We just finished the 2025 updates. And you can see that these are also built to the full spec of Blueprint, which is that 21-point visual checklist for a perfect website. And so, you go through our onboarding process. We're going to extract a lot of information from you that's going to allow us to really dial in these themes to you. They're customized with your colors, your branding, and yeah, all the pages. Again, we don't have excess pages. We've got the buyer services, seller services, and if you look at those pages, again, those are designed to the full spec of Blueprint. There's no like wasted experience. There's none of those like wasted pages that you would typically find in a template. And so that's why these sites also take a little bit longer to set up than a template website. So, but yeah, you can go to agentfire.com, check out, go to the pricing page, click the, build your package, and you can go through and see our 3 packages. You can actually watch videos for an explanation of what's included in each package. And you can actually go through and you can actually just sign up here. I think we're the only company that has like an actual checkout process on the website. You can see the add-ons that we have available. We talked about click maps a little while ago, so you can click to add that to your package. That's actually subject to quote. So of all the add-ons we have here, that one does require us to like separately, scope it out to give a quote. But everything else here you can learn more about. You can click and watch videos for all of our add-ons. And yeah, anyway, I don't want to make this a big sales page, but if you guys have any,
I've got a question, Nelson.
Sure.
First of all, that was awesome. You make it super easy. I'm actually trying it out right now on the back end while we're doing this. But
nice.
Monthly, what are we looking at differences? And then I've got another question from the audience. Monthly cost after it's built, is it the same for custom, semi-custom, and what was that very first option?
So right now our monthly fee is $149. That's regardless of the package that you choose. I also do want to mention, and this isn't a sales tactic, I promise, but tomorrow we're raising our fees. So our monthly fee is going to go from $149, and that's with IDX, to $179. If you guys are watching this webinar, I will honor the current price that we have now. Actually, sorry, I guess tomorrow is the 31st, right?
Yeah, tomorrow's the 31st, which is Halloween over here.
Yeah, so sorry, I wouldn't raise prices on you guys on Halloween. That's my favorite holiday, but November 1st is when we're
okay,
raising.
So 2 more days. Yeah. 2 more days.
Yeah. And I promise also, like, this is not a sales tactic. I'm like embarrassed that on the timing of this. I'm not like a salesy guy. I don't know. Anyway, that's what's happening. But we will honor, if you guys are interested in Agent Fire website, reach out to me directly. Yeah.
That's with IDX, right? So if we've got Rooster, then would you still say we need the IDX for?
No, you would actually just click no. Okay. So if you got Rooster, you're using, so here, choose your design, right? If you wanted to go with Ignite, for example, you can see the 4 different themes that we have here. You can click to view each one, and then you can choose the one that you want, right? Then we go to IDX. So if you're using like Real Scout or Rooster, we have a lot of clients using Rooster now. We have that really nice site that Tristan, you and I were talking about a couple of minutes ago for DJ and Lindsay. Rooster's integration is really cool. Check them out if you guys want to. But yeah, if you guys are bringing your own IDX, quote unquote, then you can just click no here, and you'll see then the price is reduced. So our 149 goes down to 119. The 179 would go down by $30.
Got it. So when you're doing Ignite, you've also got all of these other options to add on, right? Neighborhood quiz. Logo.
Yeah, this is for any design package is going to have these options for
including the custom design, or is the custom design already has a lot of these built in?
No, these are just separate. So again, with the new pricing, we're actually just going to be including home values. And again, I wish we were just doing this webinar in 2 days. But the new pricing will have home values, and it'll have ADA Protect. And this will be, you don't have to add these to your site, but these will just be included in our standard monthly fee. Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should have a whole session just on these add-ons, so that people understand what they are. We could literally start right here and be like, okay, show me what home values does. Show me what the hell ADA Protect is.
Yeah, right? yeah.
So, I think we could do that.
That'd be cool. And honestly, with our add-ons, we're trying not to, we don't want to nickel and dime people. Like these are the core Agent Fire package comes loaded with really cool tools. We have a lot of stuff I didn't show today, but we got really cool stuff for especially people that are more listing focused. We're working on a whole listing hub. We've got a lot of AI in the platform in the back end. We've got a lot of really, really cool features and functionality. That being said, then we have add-ons, and that would just be that next level where it's more, it's not necessarily something that you would include in a core package. This is something that is going to have more of a niche type appeal, right? So neighborhood quiz, for example, isn't for everyone. It also takes a little bit of time to set up because you actually have to go through and anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that,
All right. So I'm noticing because I'm going through this on the back end, click maps, it's subject to a quote. So if we turn that on, what does that mean on our end?
that means that we have to reach out and we'll send you a form to get information about because the click maps are obviously the price is going to vary depending on how many details we need to add to them. These are like custom maps. Think of it almost like a piece of art. And so depending on
Oh,
the number of areas we need to map out, depending on how many details you want to include, the price is going to be different.
okay. All right. Two questions from the audience.
Sure.
Let me go back to Jan. When you were talking about scannable, so when we're looking at the site, it's like, hey, it's got to be scannable.
Yep.
She's asking, what about Google and content? Like, how does Google look through this, and is that important?
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost, I think SEO is, I could do a whole webinar on, I think SEO is very misunderstood by real estate agents. The reality of SEO is that you're just not going to, when you're competing against like billion-dollar market cap companies like Zillow and Realtor and Redfin so a lot of the SEO stuff, a lot of companies offer SEO, and I think it's very dishonest. Like very few of them have actual results of clients getting results with SEO, and if they do, they have like one or two examples. And this is not to like crap on anyone in particular. I just think SEO right now in the real estate market for real estate agents is very predatory because the likelihood that you're going to rank for like a lot of these keywords that you're trying to for individual cities or neighborhoods, it's just so low. I mean, maybe if you're in a super non-competitive area, maybe you can rank on the second page somewhere. But
Yeah.
really, when it comes to SEO, the stuff that you should be really focused on is just making sure that your website is popping up. Number one, making sure that when people search for you or your team name, that your website is popping up at the number one spot. Your Google business profile is set up, optimized, and dialed in, and it looks nice and has reviews on it.
Yeah.
Um, that's what you should be focused on for SEOs. When people search for you, that's the big thing with websites in the modern age is consumers they're just not using them for idea. They're going to them to vet you out, and they're going to vet you out. Like even if you're referred to them, they're going to Google you,
Yeah.
and they want to be content with what they find.
Perfect. All
So
right.
sorry, that's my answer to that. No, it's
That's
not
a
a
good answer. And I think we might have to have a webinar on that too. So hold
yeah,
on.
yeah, sure.
John, John Burden, do you mind saying how you're getting the monthly cost down to 119 again?
Yeah, sorry. I know this is all kind of complicated because the pricing is so for now, right? Let's just look at the pricing is going to change in 2 days. But essentially our monthly fee is very straightforward. It's 119 without IDX, 149 with IDX. So that's it. So if you look here, you'll see monthly fee 119.
Yep.
And if we add IDX, it goes up to 149.
Excellent. All right, next question. Can options be added after launching?
Yeah, and it's frankly it's recommended to add add-ons after, well, not after necessarily you launch, but you want to bite this thing off in sizable chunks. So start getting the setup, the site set up, start getting go through the onboarding process, and then if you want to, so something like a click map, you probably want to do at the beginning. Something like a logo and branding, you definitely want to do probably even before you start working on the website. But yeah, for something like home values, blog assist, the neighborhood quiz, these are all things that you can add, either as the site is in development or as it's going live after it's gone live.
Perfect. Let me
Yeah,
see if we've got anything else. I think that's it for now. Dude, that was great.
I hope
Now,
so.
every
Yeah.
time I talk to you, man, I'm like, what am I doing with my current website provider? I just want to dump it and go to you, which,
No,
by the way, I'll probably
yeah.
end up doing.
Yeah, well, I think you should. And obviously we would because of you help us, so we would definitely hook you up.
Dude,
Um,
well, for
but
sure,
yeah,
our national, because remember, we're only in California right now as Y Realty, right? But as we grow out, we're definitely looking at yours because we already talked to Rooster. We're like, we're going to use your IDX nationally, and we're probably going to use Nelson's to grow it out. they showed me one site that you've built for a team, and I'm drawing a blank. It's a
Mhm.
team that's got different states already built in. They're growing, right? So in
Sure.
essence, it's the same thing, but I don't remember their link. You're getting a Sue says, thank you so much, Nelson. Thanks, Sue.
Yeah. Thank you, Sue. Yeah. We have a bunch of sites that are multi-state. If you let me know which one, I can.
I don't remember. Next time when we do this
Okay.
again. Oh,
Sure.
Premier Team. It's Premier Team. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay.
Premier,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
we want to showcase that just so people get an idea of people building out teams, what that looks like.
Yep.
Real
No,
agent, real
that's not
agent
it.
on duty.
Real agents on duty. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, this is an Agent Fire site featuring Rooster IDX, which Rooster is another company that Tristan worked with. We have a great relationship with. Rooster is they're big on just reactivating your database. A lot of our Zillow is actually looking at potentially like the combination of Agent Fire and Rooster as potentially a prototype that they recommend to their bigger teams. I'm not sure if I was allowed to say that. Hopefully I was.
That's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was internal, but no worries. We've only
Yeah.
got people
Sorry.
left.
Yeah. But yeah, you can check out. You can check out. I would say the best. If you want to check out an Agent Fire Rooster website, check out djandlindsay.com. Just because the Premier Group is a unique. I think they're in so many states, and.
Well, that's what I love. I love that map. Remember, look, this is the
Oh
cool part.
yeah,
That's what I was talking about.
yeah.
So let's
but
just
well,
click on California, right? And now I can either go to the app because remember it's integrated, or I can keep on
yep.
scrolling. They've highlighted the areas. I love this, man. What I love about this is that you made the site look so beautiful and you integrated it really well.
Thanks. Yeah, we do custom design, and that's another big thing too is there's not many companies. It's really hard to do custom design at scale. We're just set up. We don't have a physical office, despite I know some of you guys may be confused with my background, but that's actually just a video. It's not an actual office. So we're just we're set up. We're lean and mean, and we're able to do custom design affordably. And I would say we're probably the only company that's really able to do that. So
Nelson, so we've got a few then.
yeah,
So I'm thinking we do one session that breaks down the add-ons and why they're important. I think that's really important. As you were doing it, I'm like, what's the reasoning behind this? What's the reasoning behind this? I'd like to see that, right?
sure. Yeah.
And then a whole different session on SEO, and then obviously integrating it into what you guys do and why it's important. I think both of those are important.
That would be a short session. I would just say don't waste your money on SEO.
But then, I mean, how does it work in yours? Like the wording and scanning, and I think,
Just focusing on local SEO, meaning making sure that your website is popping up when people search for you. It's the first thing that pops up. We optimize our sites so that they're, when you're searching for the agent or team, the website is the first thing that should pop up, because again, you want to control the frame. You want the website to be the first thing that pops up because you want it to be like the perfect representation of you and your skills and experience and everything you bring to the table. So a lot of the other SEO stuff, I know it's it comes up a lot in demos that we have with. It's just unfortunately, like, when it comes to a website, right, like you can see right away, does this website suck? Like you can see, at least visually, you see something. With SEO, it's you have to pay thousands of dollars a month, and maybe you see a result in 6 months, and then what ends up happening in like 99% of these cases, and that is not an exaggeration, like 99% of these cases is you don't get results, because again,
a lot.
big you're competing against billion-dollar companies that like have uh, create like literally like massive uh like data centers where they're like you're it's a losing battle.
Yeah,
You're better off spending money on way better off spending money on PPC.
agreed. Agreed. All right, man. Anything in
Yeah.
closing? We covered a lot and it was good information.
No, I thank you for everyone that joined in today. Appreciate it. Again, you can reach out to me directly, Nelson at agentfire.com, if you have any questions. I know some things, and I like talking to people. So reach out to me there. If you're interested in agentfire.com, go to the pricing page. You can build a package. You can go through and learn about all of our different packages and kind of what makes us unique. And And yeah, hopefully join in on the next webinar where we'll be talking about probably one of the things that Tristan is suggesting.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I'm uh I'm always learning, so thank you. I learned a couple of things here too. Uh
Cool.
Jan says thank you. Duke says no non-sales questions here, like what does scannable mean?
Oh yeah, Scannable is just essentially just keeping the sections nice and tight and focusing on headlines. So, if you're going through, I think you guys can still see my screen, right?
Yep, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, just focusing on just nice, clear headlines. So if I'm scrolling through this site, like there's not um again, the headlines are clear. There's not like big blocks of text. If you look at most real estate websites and you're scrolling through them, you're going to find like big blocks of text that nobody is taking the time to read. When people scroll through a website, they're actually scanning the website. They're not like stopping in each section to read every single thing that you have written there. Like for the most part, they're scanning, they're moving through, quickly scanning because they want to try to find. There's usually something that they want to find, or maybe they're just looking to learn about you. But even then, like they're not reading big blocks of text. They're scanning through the website. So that's what I mean when I say scannable.
All right, I like it. Good answer. Let me see if we've got anything else. Perfect. That makes sense. Duke, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for jumping in. Appreciate that. Is this a website created custom, the Oasis group?
Yeah, Oasis is custom. Fisher is these are both full custom websites.
Got it.
But again, I want to stress too, even in our Ignite themes, if you look at the, you can go through, you check out, Regalia is probably my favorite. This is more of our luxury theme. So regalia.agentfire.com. But you can go through the homepage, you can go through the interior pages, and you can see like they're all built out to like perfectly articulate your value and skills, and for you to be able to leverage them in conversations. And again, they're built to the full blueprint standard, which is the same standard that we use for semi-custom and custom. It's just that semi-custom and custom, you're working directly with the designer, and we can actually what like customize individual sections versus versus plugging the content into pre-formatted sections, if that makes sense.
Makes sense, man. Beautiful. Anything else? Thanks. Got it. Love it. Great job, Nelson.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Tristan, you're the man. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining me and spending your time with me and Tristan.
Thanks. Take care of the baby.
Cool. Thank you. Two of
All
them.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, two. That's right. Two.
See you.
Bye.
See you guys. Thank you.